What's up, everybody? Welcome to the CCA U2G show. This is episode 10, where we're going to talk about how to conduct yourself in public. And I did some research, and these are my top 3 responses. Be mindful of space and noise, practice basic politeness, and have dining and theaters etiquette. So let's go ahead and dive into number 1. When you're being mindful of space and noise. So that means keep your volume down, watch your path, and give people room. So that's individually. So I'm gonna tap more into like when you're with your guys. When you're with your guys, you kind of wanna, move with the crowd. You know what I'm saying? And if it's a 2-man, you know what I'm saying, enjoy yourself, and just be yourself. And when it comes down to like the 2-man, 3-man, 4-man mission where you're trying to go out there and pull some, and it depends. Like if you got something at home, don't be out there flirting, causing a scene because you never know who knows who. And definitely don't uh, put your relationship in jeopardy. Now, if you know like you're in a relationship but it's kind of like toxic, go ahead and put yourself out there in the market. Go ahead and make your next move. And 3, if you're single, you just want to keep the peace, but you want to, and it's like not your type, you don't want to mess up the flow and everything, but you don't still have to flirt. But if you're the one that's pushing the 3-man, 2-man, 4-man, whatever it is, and you see something you like, definitely like be on your best behavior and everything, because you never know, like outside of the scene of dating, your man's could have a job interview, and the interviewer could be the other way around. Giving him an interview, or the other way, your man's got a job in a position of hiring, and she's trying to get a job. So you don't want to, put yourself in a position like that. And then when you're with your girlfriend or whoever, or family, just be cordial with everybody. Don't make a scene, like try to cause a scene out in public to embarrass somebody. That's definitely not the way to do it. How to handle situations, especially like in a hostile situation where like your partner's cheating, or like you got caught cheating. If you get caught cheating, you just want to definitely like remove yourself from the situation. Just be polite for of others. You never know what's going on and what people got going on. So number 2, practice basic politeness. Be respectful of others, follow the cue, show gratitude, keep it clean. That's basically what I've been touching on and everything. This is really just diving in on relationships. We've all been cheated on. I've been cheated on in elementary school, high school, college, grad school. And you never see me out here, trying to cause a scene with anyone. Any of the ladies that I dated in my life, I never try to be like the one that's trying to jump things off. And if it's a physical altercation, you want to do self defense, push and then run away. You never don't want to punch. And then when you're out with your guys, be respectful of others. Don't try to like down some other guys. Because say they ain't fly as y'all are. Just be cool with everybody. You got to be out here showcasing your skill and everything, or your drip. How we do it out here. But when you follow the cue, if your group is moving to the left, you don't want to move to the right, but that's just, just showing gratitude, towards friends, keep it clean, you know, um, keep the cursing down, You might have kids around and everything. You never know what's going on. Might have super religious people going on. And yeah, when you're out with your family, same rules apply, and with your partner, same rules always apply. And whenever it comes to like a hostile situation or a situation where you might, have a little conflict, you remove yourself, go home and talk it out on the text phone or calls. Or if you don't even want to do all that, just block the person if altercation does occur. Never, get into a physical altercation that could lead to arrest or, potential hospitalization. I've seen in so many examples of like I was like looking out, seeing what other people were doing, trying to follow the cue. And this guy was talking to this girl, and she pulled a gun out of him and told him to back up. You never know what's going to go on. And it's not funny because, Buddy could have lost his life, but it ain't funny. But I've also been out with my friends where, we at a party or something, we kicking it, and then, a fight break out, or, gunshots break out. Always find the, safest nearest exit. And then, move yourselves, because jealousy does occur. And it does occur in a friend group, when you're on the 2-man and your man's choosing up on the finest one, and Lady A is actually entertaining you more and actually be a better person, and you actually turn around and say, hey, I actually might like that, and jealousy occur, argument might occur, that's why I say, keep the flirting down to a minimum, do that in your privacy. Moving on to like number 3, when you're dining in theaters, the researchers say chew properly and silence your phone. That's definitely true. That's definitely true because you don't want to be out here, showing that you can't move properly, saying in public places, especially nice dining places and everything. Sometimes you can, relax a little bit when you're at the club, saying you're at the bar, saying enjoying yourself. But hey, man, you always being watched. I've always been told, you never know who's watching. And then I've just recently heard, which kind of makes sense, the camera's always watching. We got cameras now. So you don't want to be a guy that's, out here messing things up, screwing your future up for, showboating, trying to prove your points and everything, trying to pull the rightest thing out here. It's a lot of people in this world. So, you can choose the right one if you want. So Google researchers definitely hit the points on these top 3, and it's very accurate. And I've even been in situations where, 2 mans with one of my mans never go successful, and I'm the type to, bring it out. And, I got mad, and I'm just like, hey man, like we gotta work on some things, I'm saying, here and there. But all things come to an end, I'm saying, but we still cool to this day. And one of my friends, when we go out, 2-man is always successful, no matter where we at. It's just, I don't know, it's just that type of chemistry that we have, what I'm saying. And we pull in, fine things, and it's just, it is what it is. So be respectful, what I'm saying, be mindful, keep it clean, what I'm saying, have etiquette. I'm not trying to tell you what to say or what not to say ever, I'm just trying to, help you portray yourself to be the best person you truly are, out here in the world. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in to episode 10 of the CCAU 2G show.